Yes, and good evening to the Monday huddle of the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's myself, JP, and joining me this evening is our fellow men, the lads. How are we, lads? You're looking nice and fresh after the weekend. First up, Mr. Sean Maloney. How we doing, mate?
I want to say fresh, mate, but I'm not bad. No fresh as in hangover, just tiredness.
You look better than me. You did wearing that snud during the weekend anyway, that's for sure.
Well, I kind of get let out this house for 10 minutes to get a new change of clobber, mate. So, apart from that, no, I'm good. Hope you're down well, mate. Obviously, good 3 points. We'll get into that tonight, mate. But aye, all good, mate. Feeling ready to chat about the game. So, all good, mate. Hope you're well yourself.
Great, mate. I'm okay. I've maybe got something mutton on me. I don't know. It might be the early stages or something mutton on me. I've been feeling a wee bit rubbish all day. So much so I had to actually take to my bed earlier on. But I've still made it here tonight. It's committed to the cause, as you say. And that Big McCourt, you're sitting there smiling away. I've been dying to bring you in for ages. How are you? Hope you've had a nice weekend.
Broke up there.
You've totally froze, Alan, on my screen, mate.
Big McCourt. Oh, it's not a good start to the Monday huddle, McCourt.
Not a good start to the Monday huddle, Paddy. What's going on?
Is that me? My Wi-Fi's usually spot on. Is that me?
No, it was definitely you, mate. It was definitely you.
You know my Wi-Fi's usually right. I didn't hear what you said there.
Is that a magic info?
They put more money in the meter, mate. Maybe some more euros. Maybe you've used it on the ferry.
Look, JP, Wi-Fi in an envelope.
No, I didn't hear a single word you said there. So
right, so I'll start again. I says, Big McCourt, it's nice to see you smiling, and it's nice to see you back on. I know you've been dying to chat for ages. I says, so I hope you've had a nice weekend.
I know it was lovely. We night out with a few friends, slightly hungover yesterday. But aye, good and fresh now, and obviously 3 points at the weekend, so I hope you guys are well. But aye, all good here.
I am well. Well, I hope I'm well. I hope this isn't going to start something to come. So I need that this time of year. No, just to say there, Ryan, he was a wee bit hungover yesterday, mate. At least he's living up to the McCourt lifestyle. It's good to see that he's still keeping the trend going after all these years of leaving Celtic. But before we go any further, as we normally do, we'll come to a few of the viewers that's tuning in tonight with us. First up, we've got Ange M on the YouTube. Says, evening, guys. Good evening, Ange. Hope you've had a nice weekend, pal. Plunge, evening, boys. He'll help yourself, Plunge. We've got Dougie. Don't know if that's Dougie Emery, Dougie Vipond, just Dougie. That's it, just there you go. Dougie, he'll. And Plunge has put a poll out, Alan, to see if we can get your name changed, mate. He's actually calling you Shane Duffy.
I had it. I said there, all right. I had it for years.
Shane Duffy.
Honestly, see me
back in the house.
When Shane Duffy came, people come up to the pub like, "You're the double of Shane Duffy." Like, oh no, I get pelters for it. Obviously, the performances were big. Beloved Shane didn't help me much, but I got that a lot with the Shane Duffy. Can't see it myself, but aye. Fair play, Plunge.
No, I can see where Plunge is coming from, mate, to be honest with you. As we said, lads, nice weekend and an even better weekend for the Hoops, as we all know. Celtic cruised to victory in Dingwall. And for me, lads, I'm just going to hit the nail right in the head here and say I thought it was a Louis Palma show. So I've been banging the drum on here for long enough about him and telling you how good a player he was going to be, and yous are giving it all this part. It's early days, it's this, it's that. It might be early days, but look at the performances the boys putting in. It's absolutely frightening. Firm, I think the finish is it's definitely got to be up there for goal of the month. If it's no, it's got to be goal of the season. What a hit that is! It doesn't matter. And by the way, Laidlaw saved almost everything on Saturday that came his way. So to beat the guy for there was phenomenal. And then to go and add to that by using his other foot and dinking the ball across for Lee Maloney's best pal, James Forrest. I was thinking about you when he scored that, Ryan. And that's James Forrest, scored in 15 seasons in a row now for Celtic. He scored in every season that he's been here in the first team. So for me, that's remarkable. I don't care what level of football you play. But as I said, Ryan, it's a great start to the league. You know, we're unbeaten. This is a Celtic side, mate. We've heard for months now that this Celtic team's struggling. You know, and if that's us struggling, mate, I can't wait to see us getting better.
I obviously in Louis Palma. I spoke to Janice on a few months ago now about him coming, and I got a good vibe off him. Comparing the money we paid for him, I think you can say so far it's decent value. Again, I'm not going to hang my hat on guys being belters just yet, but you can definitely see that he's turning into a very good player. I think if it goes to maybe like Christmas time, guys like Palma, Yang, home, again, you can see bits and bobs that he's going to be a bit of a belter. But until maybe these guys do it consistently, maybe I'll maybe get to Christmas time and then I'll start saying, right, these guys are not the real deal. So I don't want to do with that mob there across the water when they absolutely hound players and then when they do one thing good, they're back to being the best thing since sliced bread. You can't change your opinions on one performance, and I'm not going to do that. So I have said on here at Palma, I can definitely see him become the major part of us now. I can definitely see bits and bobs him that's going to be very, very good for us. Again, the only thing that's maybe I'm thinking he might be better as a 10 JP because I think he lacks a bit of acceleration to get right by players. So I think when he's on the ball, he's more effective than he is without the ball, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know if him being behind Kyogo could be a blessing in the sky for us. But again, then do you need to alter your formation? Do you need to move a guy out midfield to put him as a 10? I don't know how the manager would work that, but it's working so far. And so far, it looks a very good signing. And in terms of value, $3.5 million, I think it looks very good in terms of his numbers so far. Again, tomorrow night will be a big. I know we'll speak of that better probably tomorrow, but that will be a big game for him as well to show again what he can do. So, but overall with the performance, mate, a team that's supposedly struggling. I think we had 39 shots at goal, which is a record, I think, in the league for a long time. There's no chance for us struggling. But maybe certain parts of the games we've not played well and performances haven't been up to standard. But that's because we've got high standards, mate. We've got, and Alan, I think we spoke about it all day, we've got high standards, so we're thinking, right, we've not performed here. But we have to a certain degree. It's just we're used to these guys winning 3-4-0 and every goal's a belter and every goal's 2 and 3 touches. And sometimes you do need to. I've had a lot of things in the last few days and it's not that we've played bad, it's just we've not been up to what we are used to. And for me, I do think that Saturday, we weren't brilliant, but we were a lot better than Ross County. And we didn't have to be brilliant because we were very good in terms of against them. They weren't great, but we were in terms of how poor they were against us, if that makes sense. We didn't have to be good. We didn't have to take it up 2 or 3 levels because we didn't have to be. We had all the ball and again, but overall, mate, I'm happy with the 3 points. It's a tough place to go. Teams got better and find it stuffy. Especially the first half, it was very, very foggy. There's a lot of instances in the game we can talk about. But overall, mate, I'm happy with the victory and it leads us now onto a good path to the game tomorrow.
Aye, no, I hear what you're saying. I mean, there's, you know, that kind of split opinions at the weekend, reading on social media and stuff like that as well, Alan. But I'm going to agree with Francis. I actually thought we were very good at the weekend. I thought we were excellent. I thought Laidlaw, as I mentioned at the beginning, I thought he saved them for a right battering. And I'm talking about 6, 7, 8. You know, the saves he pulled off on Saturday. Obviously, he was getting nowhere near Lewis Palmer's strike. And he was taking out the game with that dink across to James Forrest. But out with that, I thought like I says, I thought we were very accomplished and very good, especially away to that venue, mate.
You need to take it into context as well with the early second half. I thought we were absolutely fantastic in the second half. I thought we were the same as the last couple of games in the first half, a bit flat. But I thought we really, really upped it a notch in the second half. I thought it was back to... I thought it was back to the second half how we played against Hearts and Atletico. I was impressed how we played in the second half. It still looked a bit lacklustre and flat the first half. Obviously, as I say, in context, that's where the 39 shots at goal, they could do 10 men the first 10 minutes. There's going to be a massive change in the game. But I was very, very happy that we got up to the levels of performances in the second half. That was impressive. There was a few players in the second half that were really impressive. Palma was one of the players that was really good. But no.
I'm loving it, mate. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
There's a massive but here, right? You need to calm your jets a wee bit. The last two games...
At least I've not got it.
Aye. I'm saying he has been really good and drips and drops, right? And massively good at the parts. But you look at the last two games, it was well, speaking on here, I think it was myself and Ryan, one of the During the Week pods. He was really, like the last two games, he was able to be seen like he gets subbed and then didn't play the last game. So I know a lot of wingers are kind of inconsistent. That's the kind of way wingers are. But I think a wee bit of consistency you add to his game, and then you realise that he's to the level of Jota. If he can perform game in, game out, the way he did at the weekend, the way he did in past performances, then we can start having that conversation. I'm not getting excited at the minute, just my personal point of view. I think he looks as if he's got all the potential to be a great player at Celtic, but at the minute, the consistency is they sitting there. Just my personal point of view. But as I say, great 3 points. Obviously, the sending-offs get an impact in the game, but I thought the second half performance was back to the levels that we've seen previously, and I was really impressed with that.
Just touching on Palma, because it's something I'd probably like to do personally, to be honest with you. Give him a cuddle. And give him a cuddle. Just give him a cuddle for proving. Just give him a cuddle for proving me right.
You should have said that the first time.
We'll need to so you can get a cuddle, we'll need to try and get him on the 10:30 show. Because then you give him a good cuddle at 10:30.
I'll get your subs right up, boy.
Francis, that's when I'm happy, big boy.
No, he's got the potential.
Francis is asking if he's ever take to see Ryan unhappy. Ryan was unhappy when James Forrest scored on the weekend, mate.
I'm just trying to be realistic, Francis. There's definitely parts of his game that he's been brilliant. His goals have been very good, but I know what some fans are like, and he might play 3 amazing games, and then people are saying that's him brilliant. He's what a signing, and then he has 3 or 4 bad games, and then they're going, why did we sign him? So you've got to, in my opinion, see in a period of time how they are consistently, how they are with the goals, assists, performances. Because just like me, it's probably me, my opinion on Kwon, after 15 minutes, I'm thinking, this guy's got my next best thing, and then he's not been seen since. So you've got to reserve judgment sometimes and see for the game. I'll call you a bit later, big boy. just you wait 10:30. For
Remember,
me,
it's
I think
a family show.
I'm not seeing anything out of called here. But for me, I think if he keeps doing what he's doing, JP, 100%, I'll say phenomenal, brilliant. I'm still saying right now, it's a good signing. That is a good signing. No matter what he does the rest of his Celtic career, just in the initial impact, you can definitely see it's a good signing. In terms of value, I'm going to say it's a good value signing so far. I think, again, the only thing I think he does lack is a bit of the acceleration. Maybe that's not his game. I don't know. I've only seen bits and bobs through the research and everything else. But you can definitely see in terms of his goals, in terms of his assists, you can definitely see he's a good signing. I'm no doubting that whatsoever. But I don't know what you think. Obviously, Alan will touch on it when he's back in. But for me, JP, do you think he could play as a 10? Because I think he'd actually be more effective as a 10 as he would be as a winger.
Yeah, I think he'd be comfortable wherever you play him. Alan touches on the 2 games previously, meaning that he wasn't more effective. And I think he means just in terms of his goal scoring, because he was very effective with his passing movements on and off the ball and the one-touch football that he can play. His interchange is probably one of the best I've seen in a long time. He passes the ball like a midfielder, and he's not a midfielder, he's an attacking wide player. So he kind of reminds me of Riyad Mahrez when he was at Man City, and obviously Leicester prior to that. But I do think he could play as a 10, Ryan, because he's so comfortable in tight areas with the ball, mate. I think he takes up, he shows that comfortability with that touch, and he just junks inside that boy at the weekend and he knows exactly what he's doing. And then what I found really, really pleasing was to see that he acknowledged Harry Kewell, and he went over, and I think that must be testament to what Harry's actually doing with the players behind the scenes. So, listen, I'm not going to sit here all night and talk about Louis Palma as much as I would love to, but what I will say is I'm going to say he's a belter right now. The fact is he's scored a lot of big goals for us already. He showed that he can handle that pressure. I mean, the only fixture he's not played in is the team across the water. So I do think that when the time comes, I think they'll be in for a rude awakening as well. Because I watch him, I also watch Louis off the ball, is what I do on the ball. And some of his movement is absolutely frightening when he receives the ball. He's 1 and 2 steps ahead of what he's doing with the ball when he receives it. And in that, guys, for me, that's golden. It kind of reminds me slightly similar to Nakamura. He wasn't blessed with pace, but what Nakamura had in abundance was technique and skill. And he can eliminate people just with his body movement alone and his technical ability on the ball. And for me, Palma, Ryan, Palma's already proven his worth. He's scoring goals in the Champions League. He's scoring goals in big fixtures away from home that won you the league, in my opinion. So, in my opinion, mate, he's already paid back his transfer fee to Celtic and then some. He's obviously one of the hardest workers in training as well, because I've heard Brendan speak about him. So, yeah, as I said, it's been a remarkable find. And I read the day it was Emilio Izaguirre that put him onto
I seen
Celtic
that, aye.
in the end of. I know he's put another couple of the boys onto Celtic from Honduras. So, again, who knows what's going to be around the corner for us. But in terms of Louis Palma, I think our fans are starting to love him out with this podcast, lads. I mean, because obviously you have still got the jury out and whatever, and that's fine. But I love him already. He's living up to that number 7 jersey. That number 7 jersey's been synonymous with delivering on the big stage, and so far he's proven he's going to be able to do that. So I think we've got ourselves a real find. And as Ange M alluded to in a few comments ago, I think he's going to be one of the biggest signings Celtic have made in the last 10, 15 years. He's going to be a marquee type player, even bigger than Jota. I'm now starting to forget Jota now, and he's making it very easy for me to do that with his finishing ability and his contribution to this team. Now, my breath's taking away there just thinking about all the stuff he's done for us, actually, lads. I'm maybe going to need to bring one of you. I'm maybe going to need to bring you in, Alan, to bring a bit more. Bring me with that. But no, as I said, it's watching him coming on on Saturday and doing that. What an amazing... Who else in the Celtic team can hit a ball like
that? Right, it might come
with the finesse and everything.
I think me and Ryan's kind of... Well, the last few games he's not been like. He adds consistency. He adds consistency to his game. Then we start having that conversation. The conversation you're having about he's wearing the number 7 jersey. That's not a conversation at the minute. He's performing right, but the consistency levels he adds that to his game. Then we start seeing how good he can be. I'm no doubting some of his performances have been really great. I just want to see him kind of prolong that throughout the year if he can continue to do that. If he can continue to do that, then we start talking about if he's at the level of Jota. Then we can start continue to see where he's at. But at the minute, I'm about 70-30. I think he looks a great player at the minute, but he needs to keep that up and consistency levels for myself. He needs to keep that up definitely. But you can't doubt the guy's he's got ability. He's definitely got ability. He's shown that. He's shown that a few games this season. His goals and assists, obviously, it's a high level. But if we're talking about Jota stages, I think that's a couple of ones down the line before we can judge it, in my opinion.
Move on.
I'm not doubting it. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm saying he's still. But
it's all about. I think it's Celtic. I think because we expect every signing to be good, or we want everybody.
No, I'm not. I'm saying he's a great player, right? But we need that consistency before we start talking about Jota and
I know
what
Alan's saying, and he's probably saying.
Are we not getting that consistency over the goals and the contribution?
No, because the last two games, I think he was. I think he was kind of not his best. Choose my words. He wasn't his best the last couple of games, in my opinion. But out with that, he's been fantastic. Absolutely, obviously, aye. But see,
big Uncle Fester, Barry.
I think the assist for the third goal, I think that was incredible. Obviously, his goal, I think the assist was better. That we pop into the box, that was brilliant. So he's been brilliant in parts, but I'm not judging people in consistency at the minute.
The ball for Matt O'Reilly's goal at Tynecastle was probably the best pass I've seen in the last 2 seasons. Easy. It's up there with the best. Remember Jota's pass to Kyogo when we played Fenwick Park?
That's phenomenal.
What a ball that is.
I was right.
That is up there with top shelf stuff.
I was right behind that. I was phenomenal, that goal.
Amazing, man.
But I get what Alan's saying, but I think the only way you're going to get guys consistently performing at a level and showing us is by getting game time. So see Palma now, I'm probably going to say now,
we'll get dogs of this last.
No, I think no, listen, every player
keep it coming.
Every player has stinkers, right? McGregor's not been up to standard the last 2 to 3 games. He's been nowhere near it.
But because I'm afraid that's so I've got time for
that's the truth. Cam McGregor's been no very good the last 2 to 3 games. He's been getting the ball away. Saturday, he was good. But the game against Hibs, he was nowhere near it. And against St Mirren, he was getting silly passes away. But it's because McGregor's been so good for years. He gets a game or two for that to happen. He's allowed that because he's been so good for years. But when it gets past 2 or 3 games, then you need to start saying, listen, if you're feeling it, give him a break. That's why I said before the game on Saturday, give him a rest, but he gave O'Reilly a rest and not McGregor. I think because he's the captain, he's never going to take him out unless it's against East Kilbride or whatever it is in the cup game. But for me, the only way they're going to get game time is what Anne says there. To prove consistently levels is by playing consistently. So for me, the time now where we rest players is probably going to be finished until the end of the season. You need to kind of build towards the end of the season now. That week there was for me the 2 games where you gave guys a bit of game time and a bit of rest. And I think now we need to start motoring on to time because we can't let any more drop points because it only gives them one more game and they're right back on our tail again. So we can't let that happen. Palma, for me, is going to play every single week now. For me, Yang right now is not cutting the mustard. Again, we've all got opinions. I think he's going to get a lot better. But again, it's true to see if he plays consistently for it. But again, you've got to put your best team out. So not every player is going to get games to prove their worth. So, in my opinion, Palmer's got to play and the beautiful ball man is going to play the other side because he gives you so much, and it might not be the best technically and whatever else, what other fans, what people's opinions might be him, but what he gives you off the ball and on the ball in terms of the fitness and the pressing and the non-stop running, it's priceless to what we need. Abada's a big miss. Abada, people can say that he's raw and he's this and that and his decision making's no good, but his numbers tell you he's a major player. And the games where we're no cutting the mustard or we're no cutting through the lines or we're no in transition that good, he helps you like that. His goal threat and his assists help you. So when hopefully he's back before the game against them, hopefully, again, because if he is, I know he's not really played a lot, but if he's back, he's, in my opinion, he's right in there to play. So I think Palma and Maeda's got to be your 2 winners until Abada comes back, and then you've got a decision to make. But for me, just yet, I'm no yet on Yang. I know Taylor will still come back as well. So you've got options now. So
who does he come in for, Ryan? Just
Who?
that's interesting.
Abada?
That. I thought Abada, but see when I see Palma at the weekend,
That's up to the manager. Again, I can say I think Abada's got to play. He's never at my Celtic first team, right? But then
Maeda stays in every week.
If Palma starts continually playing well, then I'm really just going to go, look, I'm not going to say who's going to play. I want the manager to decide, because then you've got 3 good wingers. You don't know how good Tilio is yet. Yang, he's got attributes, he's got ability, but as yet, do I think he's good enough to play with us just yet? In my opinion, no.
Do you think that's just because he's not a goal and his only real creative chance was that goal he created up at Aberdeen? Because he's not really
possibly.
He's not really had that. He's not really broke through in terms of goals.
He's no giving me the see for me. But like, even I know Edward was a striker, right? But when he played out wide, Palma gives you a wee bit of the excitement when you get the ball. Jota, Abada, see when these guys get the ball, right away you're thinking, right, on you go, take him on you go. You get that, you get off your seat, you get off your couch, you're seated at the run. These guys, I don't get that with Young. I don't get it, mate. On you go. I don't get that excitement.
You definitely get that with Palma. He puts
That's
what
I'm saying. But with Palma, even Maeda might not be technically a winger, but when he gets the ball, I'm like, on you go then. You've got the speed, you've got the drive. Abada the same. Jota. But for me, I'm on the top of Edward. He's the last guy in the last few years. Take him, even with Jota. When Edward get the ball, I go what you would call horny. Edward really made me get up off my seat. Like, on you go then. On you go.
Is that why you started the Half 10 show? Was it Edward that done it to you?
Aye. Edward, people
the
can
double.
Aye, double. Edward can say, people can say about Edward being lazy in his last season, whatever. He still scored over 20 goals in a team that wasn't playing well. Edward was a phenomenal player for Celtic. Aye, there he's there. And he was one of the only guys that in the last few years that got the bums off his seats when he got the ball. But I like him back in, mate. But I can definitely see Yang potentially being useful, but I think he's got to do a lot more before I say aye on him, JP, personally.
Before he moves on, see the comments, right? I was saying Palma's great, right? He looks great. But see, until we get to the Jota levels, Jota was there for 2 years. We've seen what Jota done. We're just starting November.
Mm-hmm.
So we see how he pans out, but at the minute, he could surpass that. He could surpass the Jota level. I don't know.
The stats are certainly showing he's already there with Jota now, because Jota's contribution up till now in his first season, Palma's bettered that already. So
right, but the stats be eyes. Right? I trust my eyes, but just like probably you guys do. But I'm not seeing the Jota level at the minute, but he could surpass that, and it's still early days.
I think you need to go to Specsavers, mate, to be honest. I'm not that really.
Jota was here for 2 years, right? I'm no downing Palma whatsoever with some of the comments, right? I'm no downing him. I'm just saying I think there's a few months before we start comparing him to that level, because Jota had a 2-year period here that is showing what he could do. We've had a couple of months of Palma, so I think we need to wait a couple of months to be kind of compare. There's
I totally get where you're coming from, Alan. I totally get it. But the trajectory right now in the early days,
I agree.
He's going to be an absolute belter. So, and again, like to think that, he came in late in the window as well. There you go, Big Shane. You get somebody agreeing with you.
How many Celtic players am I going to look like?
I hope that's
know.
no Shane at a shameless you're referring to ones.
I know, but see before you cut your hair, you look like Big Ken Barlow for Corey.
Ken Dodd.
Ken Dodd. Anyway, he's got one of the colourful tickle sticks. I know you can tell, can't you?
Oh, tickle sticks. I need to get in Barry for the show.
Hold on a minute, boys, to de-use my beard here.
You're telling me I need a Mac 3 on this, man.
Aye. I think the two of you need something, but it's certainly no. Well, I can't say it on here with a family show, but
as long as I don't look like Owen Moffat. Aye, we're all right then.
It's all right,
aye. Say whatever you want.
It's strawberry blonde, isn't it?
Aye, strawberry blonde, aye.
Like Davy Moyes looking like when he was younger, wasn't it? Aye. So, aye, I'm all right with anything else.
Don't know, but you're going for that Derek White look now. I'm talking. Derek White. Derek White when he was in a beach. Derek White when he was in a beach in Magaluf with Peter Grant.
I forgot. Yeah, I forgot that. You just compared Palma to Nakamura, man. That's no.
No, it's an easy analogy, mate, because
Nakamura he's the most technical, gifted player I've seen in my lifetime at Celtic.
My point
that's a big shout.
Yeah, but my
I just
point
remembered that.
Is, yeah, I know, and I'll stand by what I say. Nakamura wasn't blessed with pace. It's a point that you don't need to be blessed with pace to be the best.
No.
Maeda's got pace in abundance. He's not the best technically, but he's getting better because of the work Harry Kewell's doing. So, and obviously Harry Kewell's doing work with just more than Maeda, which we saw with Palma. Going over, high-fiving the manager, bypassing him and then going and giving Harry Kewell a cuddle. So there must be a lot of work happening behind the scenes. So it's an easy analogy to make because Nakamura wasn't blessed with pace, but he eliminated people very easily with how tricky he was and his footballing brain. And Palma, to me, is someone very close to that ability. That's what I was meaning. He can eliminate people, and it looks like he can accept the ball in any sort of forward position on the field because he's so comfortable with the ball. It's hard to come by, guys.
I might have a bigger opinion of Nakamura. I just think there's no in the last 30
Nakamura was
years.
Absolutely class. But what I meant was, I was just meaning the fact that it was a comparison to you don't need to have a lot of pace to be quality.
No, but you say close to the ability of Nakamura. I'm not even down the Palma. I don't think there's anybody in Scottish football in the last 30 years of my lifetime that's anywhere near the technical ability that Nakamura had. I stand him on a pedestal. I know you maybe mentioned Lubo, but I think Nakamura was unbelievable technical ability. His passing.
Lubo.
I'd put Nakamura higher.
Lubo's a different kettle of fish for me.
I'd put Nakamura higher. And I
I get that. No,
personally.
By the way, Chris Commons was very good enough. And again, he was probably one that went underrated a lot of the Celtic fans.
I actually think Palma is Chris Commons, the way he goes about his business.
That's not a bad show, by the way.
No, I do. Actually, the way he moves about, he's no frightening with pace. He's not got acceleration, but he's got a good delivery. He's got very good fast feet. But I get what you're saying, JP. It's the same. Nakamura wasn't blessed with pace, but it's same as Tom Rogic. He wasn't blessed with pace, but he was blessed with quick feet, if that makes sense. His football brain.
Good shift, all right.
But he's no lightning quick, but with their feet, they're very, very quick. They're better, they're quicker with the ball at their feet than they are with foot it.
Yeah.
So I get what you're saying.
Palma's the best, he's the best. I would say he's the best in the Celtic team at close control right now. By holding up the ball, trap the ball, killing it, and then knowing what you're going to do next.
I'd probably say Matt O'Reilly's probably the best in the team for that.
He's up there. He's definitely up there.
Matt O'Reilly's phenomenal. Matt O'Reilly just reminds me of Rogic now. The way he gives about his business.
There's a big shout there. Palma's a new Rogic. That could be a shout.
I get what you're saying, Plunge.
I'm agreeing with both of you. I think JP was right about the best close control. I think he's better than Riley with close control. But I think
definitely. No, for me,
right, so Ryan
that's a
shouted
no-brainer.
O'Reilly, but I think Ryan was spot on there. I didn't even think about that. He's so similar to Chris Commons.
I see what Ryan's coming
That's
to
a
as
good
well.
shout, by the way.
I do. Listen, I don't think there's any right or wrong answers. I really don't. I don't think we're sitting here, but we're actually, we're actually sitting here
Waffling.
talking about a player who, who's
We can
very good to watch.
say he's like serial Odessa, so we're doing all right. We're doing all right.
No, that's your cue.
Disappointing.
Very disappointing.
Say the line. My name isn't James Gavin here. I'm not be saying it.
They get your bargain hunter Dickinson's real deal, eh? You can have a wee smile.
Aye, he can stand there in the middle of an empty living room with Big Dion Dublin talking about his favourite carpet samples.
You don't get that, did you? Aye, you got it.
Aye, you're smiling.
Aye. And the lame.
Aye, Dickinson real deal.
As we go.
I'm actually that engrossed in talking about Louis Palma here. I'm not even want to talk about it now. I'm only kidding. I'm only joking.
Go and do a dance like he does on TikTok. Go. If you love him that much, you'll do it.
Cool. Much you pay me?
What?
Much you pay me?
I'll give you a kiss.
I'll pay you in a subscription at 10:30, big man.
He gave me a wee bit more than a kiss, mate, I'll tell you.
Oh,
it's
worth more money.
No new, probably back a kiss.
It takes one kiss is all it takes, big man.
One kiss is all it takes, aye. Bet you've kissed many frogs to find your prince, big man, ain't you?
I'm still trying to find man, to be fair, that's why I'm on Tinder.
Grinder?
By the way, Alan, you beat me to it, and you really did.
Listen, it goes to Monday, it goes these days.
I swear about ski with
Listen, he's went mental. It's went a bit mental, but that's what Palma does to you, lads. It just sends your mind elsewhere.
No, but it was a good point that Francis made.
It was a good point.
About, in terms of, obviously, with the first goal, obviously, we can mention, obviously, don't know what you feel, JP, but obviously, for me, Liam Scales is never a disallowed goal. It's a clear goal. How they've made that a foul is beyond me. I know I've not played football in about 7 years now, but it's never a foul. It's a clear goal. And then the referee, he's right in front of the red card. Well, first with a yellow card. He's seen that tackle. Right away, I seen it. I went, whoa, that's dangerous. He's right in front of that. He gets a yellow card, and it's going to go to VAR for that to be a red. Imagine if
I'll be honest with you, I never seen it.
Like,
I never batted an eyelid. I thought it was a bad foul, but I never really thought it ended. I thought the referee's yellow card might fine. It was a foul on the edge of the box, but I don't
like VAR, right? I don't like VAR for mistake, right? But see, without VAR, that's not a red card when it should be. But on the Liam Scales, man, again, there was a few goals. I think Francis says it can be 3-0 in the first half. He's probably right. Because that, for me, how that's been again, but see, because we've won the game, it's no get spoke about. Nobody flagging it up or what. But what happens if that was nothing each? Then it's a big hoo-ha. That's a clear goal, and it didn't get allowed. And obviously Liam Scales got elbowed as well, which so again, I don't know what you think about that, JP, but I know Alan will probably has said it as well, because for me I don't think it's a debate. It's not a foul, and it should be a clear goal, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was totally baffled by the decision to chop the goal off. I never seen anything at all, and even James McFadden second questioned it and commentating. He says, "Is it enough to really chop that goal off? I'm not so sure." So we're not the only people think like this, you know. And then Francis just said there about the elbow in Big Scales' face for the boy. That could have been it left a big, don't know if any of you lads seen it, but it left a big red mark on the side of his face, and it could have been more. So there was decisions in the game, guys, that, you know, I was baffled with. None so more than this here. I mean, what's going on here? You know, I really don't know. Again, lads, but you know, we've maybe got the tune of fat boys sitting in the VAR room, pulling chairs away, sellotaping one another to the desk and pulling chairs away with one another and taking each other's mics off them and sellotaping it round their noses, or I don't know. But that's a clear penalty. It doesn't matter what game you play. Even if you're playing Subutio, that's a penalty. So I don't know what's going on in terms of, you know, we spoke, myself and yourself, and we spoke about how we can improve certain scenarios, mate. You know, and we can't put it down to teething issues with these things, because these things are still happening, and it's clear and obvious. Yeah, Francis, I would say so, mate. In terms of, you know, we're being told that we're paranoid, but what I would say to that is how can we be paranoid? We're the team that's the most dominant team in the league. We're top of the league with 8 points clear. So right now it's not really affecting us, but things like this could affect us. You know, I mean, look at that. I mean, even last season, guys. Alan, I'll come to you in a minute with this. Last season, I know the Jota goal which disallowed at third part. The guy standing outside the mega bar with a camera. How are you supposed? Come on, you're top of getting the guys a horn. Try standing in line with the play. Even the one at the weekend with Maeda. How do you know that's offside? He's standing in the middle of Dingwall city centre and he's taking that picture. Oh, we'll draw the line here. Draw the line there. What's he drawing the line with? He's Grey Goose Bottle. Come on. So, it's beyond an absolute joke. We're just supposed to accept it because we're Celtic. We won everything, and you know it's unhealthy for Scottish football, as Tom McManus says. That Celtic are winning everything, and this, that, and the next thing. But I don't understand why we just need to accept these decisions. Because again, like Francis has said, and other people have said, if those decisions happen the correct way, then apart from Ross Laidlaw pulling off about 900 saves, they've got an absolute truncheon at the weekend off us. So, I don't know about you, Alan, but it's quite disappointing, mate, when you see certain scenarios that arise and the appropriate action isn't taken. And it comes across as a bit pick and choosy to me, mate.
I know there was most certainly a few questionable decisions, to say the least. I'd say the early old goal, William Scales, that's massively soft. I don't know how anybody's green that. If it's the other way around, like the defender, what the other box is doing that, I don't think that's given. I think that's very, very soft. And then you're talking about the offside as well with Maida. That I don't know who's looking at that. How can you possibly look at that camera point and say that's onside or offside? There's that's what we're speaking about a couple of weeks ago, JP. Like, there's only like 4 or 6 cameras that's putting on these kind of offside lines, and that it wasn't quite as bad as the Jota one against Motherwell last year, but it wasn't far off. Like, you'd be looking at, I think Aquaman's come out to see and had a camera there to get down there and see that point of view, because I don't know who's looking at that. I think Jack's come out the Titanic, jumped up and took a wee Polaroid. But I don't know who's looking at that. Who can tell that it's onside or offside? I was looking at it, I'm jumping about 75-inch telly. Like, what's going on here? So I don't know how they're seeing if that's on or offside. The point I've seen at the comments, I don't like the elbow and Scales. I don't think the guy's meant to do that if I'm being on the other side. Yeah, that's enough for that. Just my personal point of view, I could be right, but I don't think that's enough for a red card. But there was a number of kind of questionable decisions that were made. Even with certain fouls, kind of normal fouls, not even bookings or anything that was putting into point goals in it. There was some fouls you're like, what are you looking at, pal? So there was a lot of questionable decisions, but as Ryan said earlier, if it wasn't a 3-0, then we would have been kind of looking in the telescope at some of these fouls. It's obviously that we've won 3-0 that we're not examining these fouls as much as usual.
Mhm.
So they go, it kind of slips under the radar slightly, but it's obviously, I think it draws on the point that we were speaking about a couple of weeks ago, JP. It's not a great show in Scottish football, especially the referees when they're part-time, whether it's the ability or whatever that may be. There was something not quite right at the weekend with a few of the decisions that were made, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. Another one you could have probably had for that one is big Shane Duffy on a surfboard, comes up the coast and takes a photo in his new iPhone 15. Missed that one out, know what I mean? But Ryan, I think Alan's spot on, mate, in terms of, you know, the way he's talked about the, you know, the camera views and stuff. And that, I mean, we're sitting on here talking about how can you help people if that's a camera angle you've got? You know what I mean? They're not even online with that, but they're looking at. So, and it's just guesswork with them, mate. No, just you know, it's easier just to get that. It's frightening, mate. It's absolutely frightening.
Alan's right. What if that game's nothing each, then? But again, this is where us as a club need to go and say it, because see if that's nothing each, are we just going to go, oh, right, it's nothing each? I know you can't do anything after the game, but the man with my head, right, the linesman who is right in front of you, he's literally 5 years away from you, and he says it's onside. He's looking right in front of you. For his naked eye, he thinks that is onside. But then they are looking for an angle, say, like there's a line there. They're looking like that. They're looking like that. And the line's drawn, it's mental. It's that tight, you're thinking he's actually onside. It's that tight. So we've got to make a comparison. See if it's like that offside. Just play it onside. How can you tell that that's clear and obviously on and that? It's mental. The one way that one for me just epitomises VR completely. Why VR's there to help, right? It's to help, right? It's not there to change decisions. It's there to help the referees make the right call, right? If the linesman with his naked eye and his refereeing ability says that's onside, surely that's got to go more than technology. He's 5 yards away from it. He's 5 yards away from it, and he decides that it's onside. But yet, a camera angle that's not looking at the referee says that it's offside. Why can you not put a camera directly why can you put 5 or 6 cameras along each line?
Ryan, it's like having a 40 finish with the camera at one furlong post.
It's mental. But listen, this isn't because it's Celtic. This isn't because it's Celtic. This is just in general.
The same. I know there's been a few decisions everywhere. It's just not good enough.
The one with Jota last season. The camera angles are way up there and the play's up there. Come on, man. We could talk. Listen, I know we're going to talk about eventually in a bigger capacity, but it's not even that. At the weekend, obviously, their penalty, Hibs don't get it. It's not just about Celtic, it's in general. The referees need to be better. The VR's got to be better. You can't just draw one squiggly line and go, oh, that's offside. The fact that it's taking these guys sometimes 5-7 minutes. There's one at the weekend, I think it took 5 minutes or 4 minutes to decide. If it's that tight, then just let it go. You obviously can't decide what it is. But JP, there's loads of ways that I think you can help it, but I don't know, mate. I just think it's, again, is it incompetence or is it just they're just no good enough? What is it? So I don't know, mate. But in terms of the game as a whole, I thought we played.
I think it's a bit of both, Ryan. To be honest with you, mate, I really do. I think they're just
I generally don't want to spend too long about it because we've won the game. But if we didn't win the game, I think I'd be sitting here all night talking about it, because these are games that could get Livingston relegated. They could get Johnson relegated. They could get Aberdeen no winning cup finals. Even them, as much as we don't want to win anything, decisions could stop even them no winning trophies when they maybe should. It's in general. It's not just Celtic. So They've got to sort the VAR, JP, because how can down south have 50 or 60 or 70 cameras or whatever it is at a game, and we're only having 6 or 4 at a game?
I know. One of the right backs in Scotland might have 2 goals if
That's what I mean.
But in the whole of his career.
That's what I mean. So, but for me, Alan, I don't know what you think, Alan, but I know what JP thinks. That's why I'm going to ask him, because it's ridiculous. But for me, Alan, I just think. No, I don't need to ask you, mate, because I know what you're going to say. It's the exact same as what I'm saying. But for me, Alan, I just think that if these decisions are happening, we're complaining when we're winning. So imagine when these things go against us or it goes against other teams. I've seen Hearts fans complaining, I'm trying to phone into Super Score, I'm trying to, what we seen the referees a joke, but why is it always this? So it's not just us, Aaron, that's complaining.
But Ryan, we're not complaining because it's the fact that we're winning, mate. We're complaining because
it's in general.
Inconsistency.
It's in general.
The decisions that are happening throughout the whole of Scottish football. I mean, it's not just Celtic games. You know,
it's in general.
There's 11 other teams in the league that VAR affects, and it affects them in a big way. Like you says earlier there, mate, it can stop somebody from staying up in the league. It can stop somebody from winning a cup. It can. So, as I said, it's not just about Celtic. It's not just we are, everybody's against Celtic. That's not what we're saying. We're trying to say that it's a need for consistency throughout the board. Right across the board with every team, not just one or two, and whoever fits your fancy in that day. So I think it's a need for transparency and clarity throughout the whole Premiership. Listen, teams in Scottish Cups, like Morton and other teams have suffered for VAR as well. And had their managers coming out saying that, they're not for VAR, and the so-called best league in the world, there's a big cry now for VAR down there. So down in England, so it's not just up here, but they certainly have a lot more in terms of finances to be able to, what as Alan mentioned earlier, fund more cameras and get themselves a better side of the technology. But what I will say to you lads is, if you do this and you were to fund more technology to these guys, it's the same guys that are using this technology that are making the same mistakes. So, in my opinion, it's the individual that's behind the camera. Whatever information he's giving the match day referees and what they're doing, it's the guy behind the lens that you need to sort out. And if he's, with all due respect, if he's not doing his job correctly, I understand it's a job where people are going to make mistakes, but when these mistakes keep happening, it then becomes an issue, especially at the top level of the game, which is Scottish Premiership and our game up here. So when these mistakes are, it's a continuation of the same mistakes, the same errors that keep arising, game after game after game, you build up a bit of a reputation. So, and it's not a good reputation. So, I think we need a change somewhere, because right now I'm afraid that some of them just aren't fit for purpose, and that's just my opinion, lads.
Fourth official must have a cracking job, man. They stop smiling.
I must be. Guy's really happy.
Must be right that in. No, it's it is what it is, right? Whether it's how competent people are or whether it is stuff that I'm no comfortable mentioning, but let's win games, win leagues, and take that smile off fourth official faces.
Top, but obviously, Alan.
That's what we're doing, though. I mean, that's what we're doing. So.
Obviously, top about winning leagues as well. Another guy who's helped us to that and might not get a lot of credit would probably David Turnbull. Again, another good goal at the weekend. He's got his doubters, he's got his critics. I've always said on this, I like him. I just feel he's unfortunate that there's guys that are better than him, and he's just unfortunate that maybe he's not as sharp enough and quick enough. Again, he probably is really sharp, right? He's a lot sharper than me. He's probably a lot sharper than anybody that probably talks on these platforms. But I think just for the way we want to play, and especially the European side, I think when we need to get somebody in that role that's quicker and sharper and maybe more mobile. But I think he's effective in certain bits. His goals going JP, I think that tells you. He's got a lot. I think he's one of the top goal scorers in the team overall the last year or so. So again, another good finish when we kind of did need the goal. As much as we were kind of playing okay, we were a wee bit of resurgency or something to get us going. And I think again, JP, I think the goal scored a very good finish, and that is what he can do. I know people say he might not be the best at the sharpness or whatever, but in terms of his goals, his numbers tell you that he is actually a big contributor to goals and assists in the team.
Yeah, no, just before we finish up, David Turnbull's almost guarantees you he's able to shoot for distance, and he's very good at it. He scores a lot of goals for the team. He's probably one of the only players, along with Palma, that's not frightened to shoot from outside the box. So Hatate probably fits that mould as well. Now and again, he's not frightened to have a shot. McGregor tries, but he always seems to hit that first man, whereas these guys seem to have a bit more about in terms of power, and he brings that sort of, flexibility in that you can also change it up if you need to. And we saw that again in Saturday, Ryan. So I think you're spot on there, mate. I think David, I agree with you, mate. I think he's just unfortunate that there's other guys around him that maybe are at a better level and maybe bring a bit more in terms of what's required to play in the Celtic midfield. I don't know. I don't want to, I like David Turnbull as a footballer. I just don't think he's the one that's going to, hand. It's a good return plunge from midfield, mate. When you're able to, like I say, you're not frightened to have a shot at goal, and you're able to contribute like that. I know he's got a few this season also. Started the season with a brace as well, so yeah, it looked pretty promising for him, and then all of a sudden he died out the game. But I think he died out the game, lads, after the game at Ibrox. I don't know if you'll agree with me. I think he just sort of faded in the game, and his all-round midfield play that day just was not there. He was one of the ones I thought that was very under par at Ibrox. There wasn't many that day, but he just fitted into that mould, that he was under par that day, and then he found himself out the team. Because if you remember back to the beginning of the season, Rio Hatate wasn't starting.
Mm-hmm.
He was on the bench, and we were kind of questioning what's going on here. But I think it's, as Francis says there, I think it's his all-round contribution David's looked at. I think the manager sees that as well. I think sometimes he's a kind of drifts in and out type player. But Ryan, you made a very good point, mate. He scored when Celtic really needed that at the weekend. I think we deserved to go into the half-time break in the lead. So, Alan, I don't know if you'll agree with that in terms of Turnbull just before we finish up, mate.
Turnbull's got a great deal of kind of technical quality. He's a good player. I just don't think he suits the way that we want to play. I think he slows the game down possibly a touch. But you can't doubt that he's a good player. He's got great technical ability. He scores goals consistently for that distance. He's a good player. I just don't think he suits the system that we're trying to play. Even after the first 6 months, the stages of Ange and now the stages of Brendan coming in, I just think his ball retention slightly too. He gives it away too much. He's too slow at times compared to other players. But there's no doubt the guy's he's got quality and outstanding ability. But I just think he doesn't suit our kind of style of play and the team and style that we are trying to build. It's just kind of unfortunate that he's in that situation. So I wouldn't say a bad word about Turnbull. I just think he's kind of in the wrong place at present, and I think when he does move on, I think it'll be like summer or January. I think he'll go and do a great job wherever he goes.
Yeah, I think most teams would be blessed to have a Davy Turnbull as part of their setup. Just before, great point to finish up with tonight, lads. Obviously, just before we finish up, guys, as we all know, this podcast is now proudly sponsored by AB Entertainment, and the AB stands for a Mr. Alec Beveridge. It's a DJ and entertainment business, folks. So if anyone is looking for a DJ for any upcoming parties, functions at all, look no further and give this number a call: 07845 746 092, or you can WhatsApp the number as well. Mr. Alec Beveridge is on Facebook and Instagram also if you want to contact him there. Look, you giggling at now.
I know that.
Oh, Francis, man.
Aye. I'm not even going to. That's not going up, Francis. Sorry, mate. It's not happening.
I just said a bit.
My ball retention's good.
The retention, it's all about the retention, I know.
Jesus. This is where that's at the end of the show, Francis, because I don't actually cope with that at the start of the show, man.
Just before we finish up, folks, as well, try to keep it on the professional platter. The Unrestricted View do have some merchandise. You've probably seen me drinking from one earlier. Here we are. That's mine. That's what mine's look like. And these are priced at £5 for these mugs. And then we've got these key rings also, and these are priced at £1.50, folks. So anyone at all looking to get your hands on them, please contact us on any one of the above platforms: Facebook, Instagram, X, as it now is called. It used to be Twitter, or TikTok. You can also message us in the community section of the YouTube channel. Anyone at all that's tuned in for the first time this evening, don't hesitate to give us a wee like and subscribe. As I said, it makes it easier for us to bring this content to you guys, and it also helps get you notified when the page goes live. As I said, folks, before, all the updates and stuff regularly will go into the community section of the page. We will be back on tomorrow morning, guys, from 11:30 with all the pre-match chat of Celtic's next fixture, which is Atletico Madrid in the UEFA Champions League. Some juicy chat, looking forward to it. Palma's coming up again, boys. I hope you don't mind, but definitely be there tomorrow. And yes, massive hail from me. As I said, I hope you all had a lovely weekend and you're ready to attack this week as we are. Hail, guys.
Hail.
And I'll see you tomorrow morning.